Hello friends and welcome to my second flight vlog video. I was anticipating and planning an in-flight inside cabin video and I made mistakes in my checklist as I was getting ready to start doing the recording and pre-takeoff or pre-taxing checklist. And again, you can see here that my trainer here anxiously waiting for me to figure out what was wrong, that my audio wasn't working again. So nice thing to start my video with, but I wanted to share this with you. Eventually, I figured out that I did not turn my avionics on. So as soon as I figured out, turn it on. And as a good trainer, he had to tell me, he had to teach me that I should not be doing this as a student. I need to really make sure that I follow through the checklist first.
All right, come check.
Got you loud and clear. So my advice would be on cameras and stuff, if you're going to record, to have those all going before you crank, because it distracts you from your flow.
Okay.
It's real easy to get distracted with the technology and then, forget something, leave something out, like ground leaning or whatever, whatever. So the best place to do that is
beforehand.
Either beforehand would be the best place, or between major elements of your checklist, but not kind of in between. Because it just messes up your flow. It's easier to forget what you need to be doing.
Okay.
Set yourself up for success. The distractions are typically a bad thing, especially when you're going through checklists.
We have mixer reach for lean for taxiing, and we have carb heat cold. Master switch on. Beacon lights on. Primed engine start. Flaps are up. Okay, so
Turn this on.
are we ready to taxi?
Well, before we do anything?
Of course, we need to check the weather.
Yep.
Dixon County Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 2001 Zulu. Wind 220 at 7 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition broken at 1,200. Temperature 15 Celsius. Dew point 12 Celsius. Altimeter 298 inches of mercury. Dixon County Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 2001 Zulu. Wind 220 at 7.
2988. So between 2988 and 3.
Sky condition broken at 1.
Yeah, the field elevation here is close to 800 something feet. That's pretty close.
Celsius. Dew point 11.
It still wants to go, even though I have it set to 1,000.
Yeah, I can back it off a little bit. Yeah, they'll roll. Definitely. All right, that's probably good for the weather, unless you want to hear it again.
Municipal Airport.
Okay.
Automated.
220 at, what is it, 8?
I believe it's at 7, but either way.
Okay. So coming from south-southwest, that corner, blowing across the runway. So we can take 17.
Yeah, and that'll give you about a 50 degree crosswind component. So it'll be about, say 45 degrees because it's easier to picture. It'll kind of be coming from the way, but it won't be too bad. Not as bad as last time.
Okay.
So if we're going to have to, remember your...
Start with the right aileron.
Yep.
And of course, expect the right rudder. A little bit of...
Might be. If the crosswind's coming from the right, it might weather vane into the wind a little bit. So you just have to adjust. It'll be a dynamic thing.
Okay.
The wind's not really going to be constant all the way down the runway. That's just where the weather station is measuring it. We have all kinds of buildings and trees, and so it'll change a little bit. As you've experienced as we go down it, right? It'll be different in different spots. So, all right. Now, before we move, we'll make our traffic call.
Okay, so Dixon traffic, Skyhawk 7911 X-ray is at the T hangar, taxiing to runway 17, Dixon.
Good.
What's the difference between T hangar and a hangar?
One's more specific than the other.
Okay, what is a T hangar?
It looks like that one where it looks like a T inside.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Dixon traffic, Skyhawk 7911 X-ray is at T hangar, taxiing to runway 17. Dixon. All right.
All right, let it roll forward a little bit and do a brake check. Make sure it stops. We get pressure, but all right, good. All right, and I'll do my brakes.
All right, my aircraft.
Good, your aircraft. If we want the nose wheel straight, if we run up with the nose wheel crooked like that, it can push a lot of torque over it, so I was trying to avoid that.
Okay. Before takeoff, doors are closed, fuel selector, brakes on, control set to both, flight controls free. And also free from all the obstacles on my lap and area. So again, fuel valve set to on, mix. Takeoff, so we can do the takeoff briefing now?
Yeah, I'm going to experiment with that. Go ahead and do it. I'm experimenting. Go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to experiment for a second.
It is not going to stay. You
Is
need
it?
a sticker. You need a tape.
It'll stay. It might stay. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, go do your normal takeoff briefing. Normal.
All right. So normal takeoff briefing. We winds at 220 at 7 knots. We're taking off runway 17. We'll be departing south. And for a normal takeoff, we will have throttle all the way in. We'll maintain runway. We will maintain the directional control, and we will at 60 60 miles per hour we'll take off at 60 and rotate and pitch for 90 miles per hour, and we'll depart south. All right, so
and we'll have a little bit of a right crosswind, right? So we'll start off with a little right aileron correction.
Right aileron, and use a right rudder depending on the need for it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So abnormal, we take a runway 17. We see something that we don't like, something on the runway, and requires us to abort takeoff. We will just pull the throttle back all the way. Okay, mix. We'll do.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll pull the throttle all the way back, continue to keep the control, directional control, and we will try to get this airplane off the runway safely. If we are during takeoff and we have taken off below 1,000 feet, we will and if or when the engine's to die, we will look within our 30-degree forward visual reference. We will pull the nose down, and we'll try to bring the plane down as soon as possible.
Now we are departing to the south, so realistically, by the time we get to 1,000 feet, we're going to be so far from the airport. We're probably, with the way this thing climbs, we're not going to be able to really to make it back. So
right, we'll find.
So realistically, we really do have an engine failure. We're going to be looking for a field or a clearing.
Okay.
Period, right? Because we're gonna head south. We got a wind out of the south, so it might push us back, but it's unlikely that we'll make it back to the airport. But if we're at 1,000 feet, we'll have time to look. We'll have more time to look around. Right?
Yeah.
The key, I think, is if we're kind of 600 feet or below, we just want to break. We're going to push forward to break the stall, but we're going to keep our, we're going to keep our where are we going to land question to kind of more or less plus or minus 30 degrees.
Forward visual reference.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is trying to avoid, really banking in hard, pulling back on the yoke, and setting yourself up for a stall spin condition. If the engine quits, we're gonna crash. So I'd rather us crash
with some
controlled
with some
as opposed
to
as a brick, right? So when the engine fails, but the first thing we want to do is make sure is that we pitch that nose down a little bit. Now, not like a lawn dart. We just don't want to have a big climb attitude because you remember how fast that airspeed. I mean, it just bleeds right off, right? So that's the main reason. Because you get it kind of like that. You get a lot of that, oh my God, what's happening moment, where your brain explodes, and it takes a few seconds to catch up with the reality of what's happening, right? And so you don't want to have your nose pitched way up in the air and lose all that energy.
Pay attention to that, because that is the first thing probably going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen pretty quickly. So between the two of us, we shouldn't have a problem, and I'll have control of the aircraft at that point in time, and you can help me out. Make sure that usually, is if we have an engine failure, if the engine just quits, which is not typically what happens, but it's possible. A couple of things that can grenade, which means something happens internally and it's never coming back. Another common thing is, the fuel selector's not on. It's not getting fuel, right? So it's got to have fuel. So fuel selector on both.
Check the carb.
Check the carb heat. Make sure the primer's in. Make sure the mixture's all the way in. That kind of thing, right? That's fuel. And then it has to have spark. So make sure the mags are on both.
Would you restart the mag again?
Well, you don't really start the mags. It'll probably be windmilling, but it won't hurt to hit the starter when instructed. Okay. But that's the thing is, it got fuel. It's got spark. It's got fuel. It's got spark. That's pretty much the extent of our options at that point in time, right? But with me in here, obviously, things will be a little slower for me than for you. So I can direct, hey, check this, check that.
Okay.
But when you're close to the ground, 200 or 300 feet, your time runs out real quickly. So you don't have the luxury of fiddling with a whole lot of stuff.
Okay.
You really need to be focused on maintaining control of the aircraft, not stalling, and finding something to not run into.
All right. So part of the abnormal briefing, after takeoff, if or when the engine dies and we are at or above 1,000 feet as we are departing south today, we're not probably going to turn around. We'll not have, so we will try to find this level ground nearby within 30 degree reference.
About 1,000 feet, I think we'll have a little more. We'll have more options and more time, right?
Find a level ground to set this plane down.
So when you're doing your normal departure brief, because we're going to the south today, we're not turning to the north, or we're not turning back to the airport to do pattern work. The whole when you get to 1,000 feet, we can come back to the airport isn't as much of an option, right? Because we're just going to go fly straight out to the south. So you almost change your abnormal brief based on your normal brief, right?
Okay.
So our normal brief today is, we climb out at 90 knots. We're going to depart straight to the south, and we're going to do air work somewhere south of the field, right?
Okay.
So then okay, well, the abnormal coming back and landing at the airport isn't going to be an option because we're just flying straight out. And this thing's got a pretty anemic climb rate, so we'll be pretty far south by the time we hit 1,000 feet.
Right.
So realistically, coming back to the airport, and a complete engine failure is not going to be an option. Now, if we have a partial engine failure where it starts running like crap, then let's turn around and try to make it back, right?
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on what looks like a good field in the airport as we work our way back. But that's kind of the thought process. We don't have to beat that horse to death, but that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, right? Okay.
All right. So
quick flow, good. I'm locked in, belted up. 1, 2. All right, and then radio call will be. Yeah, good check on that.
All right, so the radio call would be Dixon traffic, Skyhawk 7911 X-ray, taking up runway 17, departing south. Dixon.
Perfect.
Dixon traffic, Skyhawk 7911 X-ray, taking up runway 17, departing south. Dixon.
Okay. We got a lot bluer skies out there today. All right, check everything before you roll past the hold short line.
All right, clear left, clear
All right,
right.
clear right, clear above. Don't forget the crazy helicopter guys. You did make the radio call, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. I had a complete, my brain just completely blanked whether you practiced it or whether you made it. Well, that's always a good idea to make sure you're on the runway you think you're on, and I see 17. That's what we want.
All right.
Our compass agrees with that. See? All right, let's get stopped, centered out. Okay.
All right, ready?
Ready? All the way in. Remember a little bit of right crosswind? Feel that left turning tendency, and make sure you're not on the brakes. You want to keep kind of toes down towards the bottom of those pedals. A little bit of right in there. There you go. There we go. Just pressure.
60.
There you go. Pause it. Rotate. Little right rudder. Remember how we need that rudder pressure in there? There you go. And we want to go straight out. So remember to do your, your objects down this as we go.
Pressure good.
Yeah, so make a note now. Look, when we're on climb out, we're about 2,400 RPM, 2,350. So that's what you should expect for normal. Pitch is a little high. There you go.
Fleet County traffic, Saratoga A1579er is a left base, runway 20, Fleet County.
500 feet. Climb.
That's a little bit of a steep pitch attitude right now. That's awful steep for what we want. Remember, 90 miles an hour on this one looks about like right about there. Take a good look at what that looks like to you. See how it's pitching up on you? If you need to trim to remove control forces, then go ahead and do it. You should climb out at 90 miles an hour, hands off if you're properly trimmed. Don't be shy about that right rudder. So what do we need right rudder for?
Right rudder for?
On takeoff especially?
So we don't steer left.
Why would we steer left?
Because your props tend to go left because of the rotation factor. And we have wind from south-southwest.
Right, so your left turning tendencies from your P factor, your spiraling slipstream, and all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give you stuff to make you think while you're working at the same time.
Okay.
Looks good. Looks like our clouds cleared out real nicely. Let's head out that way. See where there are no clouds.
Okay, south-southwest.
Just lead with a little bit of right rudder.
Warren County traffic, Bonanza 292 Mike Whiskey is on the RNAV 23 approach. They're approximately 7 miles out to the north.
That turned out to a really nice afternoon, didn't it?
We're missed approach. Warren County.
Current altitude. Going up to 35?
Yeah. We'll do 3,000.
Markburg traffic, Niner Hotel Lima, turning cross, wind runway 1.
2,000.
1,000 to go. Okay, so if you had an engine failure, what do we do?
We'll quickly look, engage.
No?
Oh my god, it's all look like hilly in here. That field, can we make it? Small though.
No, I don't think so. If it's all you had, it's all you had. Over there looks pretty good to the left.
Oh, that's field right there, but isn't it too close?
No, of course you can always lose energy. Well, we're going to practice some of those.
Flap, okay.
We're going to practice some of the ways to lose this extra
500
energy.
feet trimmed.
Pretty good.
Can we go 1,000 feet per minute?
What's that?
1,000 foot per minute?
In this plane now, we're not going to make that at 90. Remember, what's our VY? Do you remember?
VXVY 90?
Yeah. So we're climbing out at 90. 91, I think, technically 90,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean. So let's talk about leveling off, because I want to go back to some of the basic attitude flying stuff. All right, when you level off, I want you to positively push that nose into the cruise pitch attitude and trim as you accelerate through, and don't touch the power right now.
All right, say that again.
Okay, so we're going to lead by half of that, about now. Push the nose over to your pitch attitude for cruise flight, and do it like you mean it. Don't be tender about it.
Okay, right about that.
Yeah, I just want you to keep it there though, and trim it out as we speed up, because you're going to need a trim. I want you to see it exactly 3,000 feet in this 3,100 foot business. And if the power needs adjustment, I'll do it. And hold your heading, don't start drifting off. All right, now do your scan, do your left-right scan all the way across. Your nose is high, and you can see the angle of attack on the wings, or the angle of incidence on the wings here is higher than what it normally is for cruise. So you should know right away that you're
Turning off to the west.
that you're climbing. So instead of looking at these gauges all the time,
County traffic, bearing 225 Romeo, short final 19. Noah.
then I'll set your power for you as we get a little close to the red line. See if I can do this here. Not all that.
I see, that was your plan, okay. I think we're a little bit of west, so maybe we get to south-southwest.
Lawrenceburg traffic, Niner Hotel Lima, turning final runway 17, Lawrenceburg.
I wish I had one more sticky thing with me, but I don't. Okay, see? Alright, now do your scan. Stop fiddling for a second. Those wings are going to be just about level with the horizon.
Yeah.
Now see how much better that looks? That looks better. I'll set this power back about right here.
21.
Alright, it gets level now. Get us level instead of stop turning.
Okay.
Good. Now give us a 90-degree turn to the left and hold the altitude.
Without that.
Yes, without any of that mess.
90 degree, alright. Clear left. I got that field in my vision.
Alright, clear right, clear left.
Lawrenceburg traffic, Niner Hotel Lima, going around 17, Lawrenceburg.
Lean it out just a little bit.
Why is that?
Just a little bit. Feel that nose pitching up on you? See how it's starting to pitch?
I've been pulling it up a little bit because you tend to go down when you
Do a
turn.
little bit, yeah.
That field was mine.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to manage your power more. Put us at a 500 foot per minute descent. Just aim some direction. We're going to go down 500 feet per minute for a little bit. Till we get good to stable. So just point the nose down. It'll cause us to accelerate. I'll set the power. We're kind of violating the whole pitch power airspeed thing, but I just want us to get stable downhill. Let it settle for a minute. 500 feet per minute, not 400. I got the power.
Okay.
Keep us going the same way. We're slowly drifting to the left. All right. See, that's going to be faster. Be a little slower. Let's see what we get. Everybody says. 85. We're a little bit nose high. Pretty good though, right? Pretty close.
Okay, traffic.
So you don't have to have your airspeed indicator to fly the right speeds, right? You just need to know what your pitch power settings are.
Hey, Christian County traffic, number 2.
All right, let's go. Let's transition to level flight.
Left base for runway 26.
That's fine. Just leave the power in. This way you have to trim more and keep going the same direction. And then do your scan. Your eyes on the wing.
I was holding the patch. Is this Centerville?
Yeah.
Final for runway 26. Hopkinsville.
It's like, that's pretty close.
That's what I would settle to.
Yeah, I think it feels pretty good. That seems to agree. All right. Set your power for you. Right here, now it'll mess your trim up a little bit. Now look at your Wings your nose are still just a little high. There you go. All right, now do a 180-degree turn to the right. So we're going to reverse direction 290s.
All right. To the left, to the right.
It'll clear. Where's our altitude? Oh, almost at 4,000. So let's do, so we got 4,000 and we want to go to 3,000, that's 1,000 feet. The standard rate turn takes 2 minutes, right?
Standard rate.
360-degree standard rate turn takes 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes, okay, yeah, you told me that.
So we want to lose 1,000 feet, and we want to do a left 360
1 minute.
for 2 whole minutes at 500 feet per minute.
180 with 1.
We're doing 360.
Okay, 2 minutes.
500 feet for the first half, and another 500 feet for the second half will bring us down to 3,000.
We'll do another 360?
No, two 180s. 2 minutes total,
Okay.
500 feet per minute, times 2 minutes gives 1,000 feet, right?
Okay.
All right, so let's do that. 500 foot per minute descending left turn. On there for you. Let's see what we got. Pretty good. We wanted 3,000, we got 3,100. Good job.
I had to lose a little more.
The point of all of this is to go back to visual and not overshooting our angles and our altitudes and stuff. Right, so, you know, when you want to level off, we lead it by about half of the vertical speed. So if you're going 500 feet per minute, about 25 feet. Going 1,000 feet, about 50 feet. We can do that on the ground if you won't remember it. But you got to lead that level off, right? If you level off right when you hit the altitude, you're going to overshoot it, right? So you lead it a little bit so you land right where you want to land.
That's the airport?
Yep, that's it. Okay, so Dixon traffic, we are, how far away? We're about 6 miles to the west. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'll just make the radio call. Just keep Dixon traffic, Scott 11 X-ray, 6 miles west. We'll be crossing midfield and left downwind for 17 on the right turn teardrop. Dixon. 18. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to practice our engine out stuff near the runway so we can get closer to the ground and be safer.
Okay.
So we'll pull some power on the downwinds.
On the downwind, okay.
Yeah, so it'll let you get,
okay.
so that way, because when we're out here near wires and stuff, you know, we got to kind of call it off early, but with the runway we can kind of do a little bit more closer to the ground, you know what I mean, so we can do a little bit more realistic. So just take us to the airport, we're going to cross midfield, just head over there, a little nose lower, and you can pull the power
That's
back.
a little high for me though. What you just said,
That patch right there, that patch right there, yeah, that's about where we're going to be crossing. Keep going. We're going to do the teardrop. I'll show you which one I was talking about. I was talking about this.
There's a red house, bunch of red houses, barns.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. And then if we get going too fast, you can just pull the power back a little bit. But you just keep that same area in the windscreen, and you know that you're going to look at our descent rate too for that. It's just about perfect, right?
Okay.
And then you just turn in when you feel like you're close enough.
There's a...
I would start the turn now and figure it out though.
Mark
And while you're doing that, pull out 100 RPM without looking. Just keep your eyes outside. That's pretty good. Keep your eyes outside. Your nose is dropping now, right? Good. Keep your nose up. I don't want you to lose any altitude. Trim. Okay, so I have the power controls now. My power. You have the yoke. I have the power. Power failure. And set your pitch attitude right away. Don't delay on that. For 80. Up, up, up. There you go, for 80. Perfect. All right, now decide what you're going to do with your energy. It's all up to you.
Okay, I'm still good. I can start turning.
36. Headed northwest. 7 uniform turning left, crosswind runway 17 Lawrenceburg.
Dixon traffic, 11 X-ray, left base 17, simulated engine failure, Dixon.
Murray County.
Sonoma County traffic, Bonanza 733, zero code.
Okay, so you think you're going to make it or you think you're high?
Think I'm high, but that is...
You can always throw in a notch of flaps.
Huh?
You can throw in a notch of flaps. You're going to make the runway, so throw in a notch of flaps. Okay.
Traffic Cessna 237.
Oh, you're still high, so you can throw in another notch of flaps and very slowly turn in, gradually turn into the runway. Dixon traffic, 11 X-ray, base to final 17, low approach only, Dixon. All right. And then turn in.
Dixon traffic 2728 Quebec on the RNAV 17, 4.5 mile final, Dixon.
Okay, great. Just experiment with this for a minute. Almost like landing, right? You would make this. You would survive. A little long, but that's okay. All right, let's do a go-around. Full power. Full power, all the way, right away. Carb heat in. Set your pitch attitude. 1 notch of flaps, not 2. Good. All right, we'll give it a second. Dixon traffic, Sky 11 X-ray, going around 17, Dixon. Good. Very nice. Alright, so my plan on this one is I want us to stay high and not put our flaps in and all that stuff, but being the numbers. We're going to do a deliberately high approach, and then I'm going to pull the power back, and I want you to practice losing altitude when you've got too much.
Okay.
Okay? We'll do a little bit of S-turn and try a slip.
All right.
Now just climb up to pattern altitude and aggressively, or let's just say proactively, level off, set your power. That nose back. Don't let it drop on me. Up. Just keep it up. And then you're on base. Right now it goes base. Good. Okay, now I'm going to pull your power on you. And now I want you to figure what are some tricks that you can do here to lose altitude. You're in the wide arc, you can throw flaps in, you can use S-turns, and you've got slips.
Okay.
Alright, we'll do 1 notch of flaps. We're going to try a slip. Alright, so a slip, you put in left aileron and right rudder. Start pushing in that right rudder and keep the nose down because your speed will bleed off pretty quickly. Keep throwing that left in and aim straight for the runway. More left aileron, and more down nose. Look at your airspeed, how low your airspeed's getting. Nose down, nose down. There you go. You're getting real slow. Nose down. There we go. Anytime you do a slip, you got to have that nose down. See how fast we're losing altitude? It's pretty cool. We're going to make the runway. Just keep it in and keep the nose down so it don't get too slow. Let's try to keep us, that's way too slow. There we go. See how much more nose down you got to have? Look at that. You're going to hit right at the numbers. Isn't that amazing? right, go ahead and come out of the slip. Out of the slip, coordinated, turn in, and go full power pitch. And carbine. And then find your targets. So see how much altitude you can lose?
Quickly, yep.
Isn't that pretty cool, huh? The main thing is, once you throw that slip in, you're so draggy, your airspeed will just go completely decay. So you've got to keep the nose pushed down. Right? Okay, now we're high. Pull the power on now. And I want you to use your tricks to get us down to the runway.
Humboldt traffic system 170.
And just gotta tell me what you're thinking when you see it, so I can see what you're thinking. We're a little slow. There you go. All right. So what are you gonna be high, low, or are you gonna make it?
I'm gonna be okay. If I do it like this, yeah, I'll make it. A little high though.
Yeah, so one notch of flaps probably won't hurt you. If you want to practice your S turns, just to see kind of how much extra altitude you can lose with those.
Well, this time you don't use rudder, right?
Yeah, use your rudder. You're just turning, just like a normal coordinated turn. Keep your speed up a little bit. You don't kill it. Just slow. Use your rudder and keep your nose down. We just don't want to get slow.
Okay.
So you're just lazy. Get lined up on the runway. Just kind of favor the right a little bit next. Stay coordinated.
Turning final runway 6, Murray County.
Okay, so if you want, now what you could do, you could throw in another notch of flaps because you're going to be a little high, right? You're going to make the runway now, right? That's certainly going to happen, right?
Okay.
The only thing you got to worry about now is would you go a little long, but I don't think so. So now it's just straighten up and just line up with the runway. And line up with the runway. And just keep your nose down and your speed about where it is. And here you go. Your engine failed, you did a great job, you're going to make it. So let's do a go around full power. Good.
Dixon, runway 17.
Okay, I feel like you're real high. How do you fix real high?
That's done.
Power works. Flaps work. And power out now, because we're going to be really long. You can even do a little less turn.
Murray County traffic 50 Sierra, downwind, runway.
Now let's practice getting lined up. So right here we're a little left.
Okay.
All right, so we want to come right south. What you're really looking for is just a straight line off the nose. You're just, the runway almost turns into like a line straight up our nose.
Okay.
There we go. Don't dive for the runway, just let her come down. Good speed of that second blue line. Okay, this feels a little long. We're past midfield, so let's do a go around. Full power, aggressively. Curve heat in. And one notch. Good. Look at that, hold right here. I don't want to cross, get down close to the ground about where the bottom blue line is. No, if you just keep flying it straight to the runway, you're doing a great job. I'll tell you when to start to level off. Or you tell me when you want to start leveling off.
Okay.
All right, how about here? Start to level off, make the nose level, and just let it come to the ground, pull the power all the way out. All right, level, 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 and fly it to the ground. Back, 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 back. Whoop, gotta come back on that stick. No brakes. That's the nose wheel shimmy. So yeah, that was really good. Just needed a little more pitch up at the very end. That was good though.
Well, as they say, the fourth time is the charm. We made it down to Earth. First two of those attempts were practicing engine out approach, or landing situation without the engine, and we attempted S method, like a slip method, and S turns, and we did pretty good. The third one I was too high, but the fourth one was, we got it. Thank you for staying with me this long, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, have a wonderful time and Happy New Year. This is the 1st of January 2022, and take care. Wish to see you soon. Thank you very much.